Nancy Pelosi has finally announced her retirement from the United States Congress in 2027, which will mark just under 40 years of her holding office. She broke many glass ceilings, but more importantly, she is going to retire significantly richer, having outpaced the Dow Jones Industrial Average by, wait for it, 7,000%. But wait, how did Nancy Pelosi get to wield so much power in Washington? Who taught her how the American political game works? And who is the most ecstatic about her retirement? Let's lock in.
I say to my colleagues in the House all the time, no matter what title they have bestowed upon me, Speaker, Leader, Whip, there has been no greater honor for me than to stand on the House floor and say, I speak for the people of San Francisco. I have truly loved serving as your voice in Congress, and I've always honored the song of St. Francis. Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace, the anthem of our city. That is why I want you, my fellow San Franciscans, to be the first to know. I will not be seeking re-election to Congress. With a grateful heart, I look forward to my final year of service as your proud representative.
Former Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, announced her retirement last week after serving a whopping 20 terms in Congress. There's one man in D.C. who made his excitement for her departure quite known. Thank you, press.
Nancy Pelosi.
Nancy Pelosi's retirement.
I think she's an able woman. I'm glad she's retiring. I think she did the country a great service by retiring. I think she was a tremendous liability for the country.
And on Dick Cheney.
I thought she was an evil woman who did a poor job, who cost the country a lot in damages and in reputation. I thought she was terrible. Thank you very much.
For what it's worth, Pelosi led the charge to impeach President Trump twice, unsuccessfully for January 6th, which she later admitted she may have played a role in, or at least she didn't help stop.
You've been waiting for this, for trespassing on the Capitol grounds.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have.
Now, it's impolite to speak of a woman's age, but to provide you with some much-needed context here, Nancy Pelosi is 85 years old. Let this one sit. She's too old to qualify as a baby boomer. Make the conclusions you wish about term limits. But let's go back almost a century. Nancy Pelosi's father, Thomas D'Alessandro Jr., was a Democratic politician who served as a U.S. representative from Maryland from 1939 to 1947, and later as the mayor of Baltimore from 47 to 59. His career also included working in insurance and brokerage business, serving as a delegate to the Democratic National Convention, and being appointed to the Federal Renegotiation Board by President John F. Kennedy. So Nancy was a political nepo baby from the get-go. A lot of this experience was inherited. So this is like Patrick Schwarzenegger taking up acting. But I digress. After moving to San Francisco, Nancy quickly climbed the political ladder. She got positions in the California Democratic Party, including chair. She ran for Congress in California's 5th District in a special election after her predecessor's death. And since that win in 1987, Pelosi has switched districts 3 times, to 8, to 12, then to the 11th District. Funny enough, she only moved to districts with a higher median household income than in the district she held at the time. Go figure, her stock portfolio checks out with that. And these districts are also as blue as you can possibly get, going 70, 80, 90% in favor of Democrats. These are reliably safe blue districts. Despite facing re-election every 2 years to keep her seat in Congress, Pelosi figured out how to make a career out of this chamber. A few years back, Pelosi basically let the cat out of the bag when she spoke about her and AOC's districts. AOC's is in New York State, New York City, actually, specifically.
We won this election. It wasn't in districts like mine or Alexandria's. However, she's a wonderful member of Congress. I think all of our colleagues will attest. But those are districts that are solidly Democratic. This glass of water would win with a D next to its name in those districts.
Pelosi figured out that in a deep blue, affluent district like hers, voters won't experience the same problem that someone in, say, Springfield, Ohio might. So in order to stay on the ticket, Pelosi just has to cater to the champagne problems of the coastal elite. Not very difficult for Miss Nancy. For example, during her first tenure as Speaker, Pelosi moved the statue of Robert E. Lee from the National Statuary Hall of the U.S. Capitol to the Capitol Crypt. In August 2017, she supported an initiative by Democratic Senator Cory Booker to have Confederate monuments and memorials removed as well. She figured out something else about the game. You gotta get in good with your party. If you simply stay put in your party long enough and you don't cause too much of a ruckus, 20 years later, it'll be your turn to wield the speaker's gavel. So Nancy towed the line very carefully for 2 decades. She considers herself a devout Catholic. Give me a break. She's proven to be more of a devout Democrat. In 1999, Pelosi voted against displaying the 10 Commandments in public buildings, including schools. She voted against the Partial Birth Abortion Ban Act of 2003, despite that kind of being a disqualifier as a practicing Catholic. She voted against the criminalization of transporting a minor across state lines for an abortion, so literally supported abortion tourism for young women. She's also said that her biggest disappointment was the church's lobbying against the Affordable Care Act because of contraception coverage. So Nancy's a cafeteria Catholic. This is all in name only, not genuine at all, just to score political points.
In the Congress, be aware of this, the Republicans are plotting a nationwide abortion ban. They cannot be allowed to have a majority in the Congress to do that, but that's their goal. And if you read, and again, we're all studying all this, but if you read what is in the very clear, one of the justices had his own statement. It's about contraception, in vitro fertilization, family planning. That is all what will spring from their decision that they made today.
In 2022, she called the overturning of Roe v. Wade cruel, outrageous, and heart-wrenching. But the 2008 Democratic primary is truly where her devotion to the Democratic Party really stuck out. 2008 split the party. It was Hillary Clinton versus Barack Obama, the old guard at the time versus the progressive fresh face. We, of course, know what happened. Nancy, very interestingly, waited to get on board with Obama right at the right time. She's a shrewd politician. You can't deny that. In recent years, the problem of the day, as you know, has always been Donald Trump. Nancy's been living on Easy Street in her district thanks to a decade of good old Trump derangement syndrome.
That's the beauty of the Constitution. Our founders did not want to have, again, how can I say this? It'll sound like I'm awful about Trump because he's just a vile creature.
Nancy Pelosi is actually an expert performance artist at Democratic politics. And she unusually remained in the House, partly, I'm sure, because she wanted to be the first woman to be named Speaker. Again, a strategic move on her part. And another reason might be ambitions to enrich herself. Pelosi's husband, Paul, is a wealthy investor and the primary source of the couple's wealth. Pelosi's net worth is now over $278 million, according to Quiver Quantitative, which tracks the net worth of various politicians. That's up from $256 million at the end of 2024, which more than doubled from $121 million at the end of 2015. Now, this isn't some wildly famous Hollywood celebrity like Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep. This is a politician. And she didn't exactly pretend to be one with the average American anyway. Remember her COVID ice cream freezer tour? Mind you, while much of the country was out of work and out of school.
Other people in our family go for some other flavors, but chocolate, and then we have some other chocolate here. I enjoy it. I like it better than anything else. And I don't know why, but it seems to agree with me. I have a lot of energy. And we just got it restocked with the ice cream right for Easter Sunday because we were, shall we say, enjoying. I don't know what I would have done if ice cream were not invented.
For context here, the average salary of someone in Congress is like $174,000, and if you're Speaker of the House, it's over $200,000. So Nancy was making a comfortable six figures, but is this enough to aggregate to a boatload fortune in the ballpark of $200 million? I think not. And speaking of COVID, remember her trip to the hair salon that she called a setup? No, it's not a setup, Nancy. You just got caught.
The owner of the e-salon released video from inside the Union Street business in San Francisco. The owner, Erica Kius, says Monday afternoon House Speaker Nancy Pelosi can be seen walking in a cape from the washing area with wet hair and a face covering apparently pulled down. Two other people wearing masks appear in the video with her. Kia said she had received a text message from a stylist Sunday night alerting her to the speaker's appointment, and she called it a slap in the face that Pelosi would get her hair done inside when San Francisco has a ban.
Anyway, when it comes to the Pelosi's financial success, I said before that the Pelosi's outpaced the Dow, a major stock indices, by 7,000%. This means they saw returns of over 13,000% while Nancy served our nation from the ivory tower on Capitol Hill.
I extend to you this gavel.
With gavel in hand, Nancy Pelosi regained her title as Speaker of the House. The 78-year-old says her party's first goal, ending the partial government shutdown.
Nancy also had the status, of course, serving as Speaker during the Obama years, and then during Trump's first term, she served as his perfect foil to contrast with the boogeyman Trump agenda. But unlike many in Congress, she never wanted a seat in the Senate, which is a much more prestigious elite chamber. She never went on to hold an MSNBC gig or, like her father, run for mayor of somewhere more local. Although we now know her as this insufferable figure who's way too old to be there, thanks to Trump's inclination to call her out for decades, Nancy achieved the lifestyle she wanted by towing the line and keeping her head down, only piping up when it was absolutely necessary and to keep her caucus in order. Political writer John Bresnahan called Pelosi's record as Speaker mixed. He opined that Pelosi had been a powerful speaker, describing her as wielding an iron fist in a Gucci glove and having held enormous power within the House Democratic caucus, but noting that she had a horrible approval rating with the rest of America, who associates her with the limousine liberal lifestyle. But to all of the Nancy stans still watching this video, never fear, the family trade will prevail. Nancy's daughter, Christine, has announced her run for the Senate, another Nepo baby. So buckle up, Golden Staters, the Pelosi dynasty isn't going anywhere. And please let us know what you'll miss the least about Nancy Pelosi in the comments below. And please give us a like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on any future videos.